Now, this is very, very, very unexpected news by Canelo Alverez and Terence Crawford. Supposedly, they have agreed to fight in September of this year. First, Canelo has to keep his undisputed, should I say, status, then take on Terence, Bud Crawford in September. And let me counterpunch. That's what I'm talking about. Boxing is a sport that I love, that I hate so much, for a reason, because you always have something that unexpectedly happens in this sport. Okay, I thought it was a hoax because I saw it a couple hours ago. Then I started looking. Then more and more sources started popping up with the same claim that Canelo Alverez, Terence Crawford had agreed to fight over a couple years of kind of squandering and, the idea since all of last year and half of the year before that, okay, when he demolished Errol Spence, another big guy. And now, 2 years in the making, I think Canelo's ready for it. I think Canelo's ready for that challenge, because I'm like, hey, if you're going to fight smaller men, you might as well fight the best of the smaller men, which is Terence Bud Crawford. And I look forward to the fight because that excites me a lot. Canelo, Crawford. Undisputed versus undisputed. Let's go. Let's have it. Why not? You know what I mean? Whoever wins, I think, should get full credit. People will say and talk that, hey, Canelo's too big shit. They said the same thing about Errol Spence, and they said that about the other person and the other person and the other person. You know what I mean? This is about making money. This is a business. I don't think Terence Crawford is going to pull a Jermell Charlo. I think Terence has more skill than that. I think people saying that Canelo will just go in and crush him and this, that, and the other, I think it's disrespectful to Terence Crawford, because Terence Crawford is on another level than someone like Jermell Charlo. Even though he may perceive to be bigger, he's not the same caliber of fighter. He's just not. That ring IQ is different. We've seen Canelo in there with boxers or people that can box to that magnitude and give him problems. So I don't see how Crawford can't give him problems. Should he win? Shit, he should. He should win, but that doesn't mean he will. Errol Spence supposed to beat Terence Crawford at his weight class, the king, the big fish at that weight class. But what happened? He got demolished. This gives us the opportunity to see how far Canelo Alverez and Terence Crawford, Terence Crawford can really go versus Canelo Alverez. Can he hold the fort down at 168? Or will the tyrant Terence Crawford go right past 160? Okay. And claim dominance on that division too, because if he can, that means he will be a 3-division undisputed champion. People are not looking at it like that. Canelo Alverez versus Terence Crawford. He has more to gain, Crawford, than Canelo has. Canelo can be more filthier rich, but Terence Crawford, in essence, can make history on top of history, and nobody's ever done that in the sport. You know what I mean? No one has done that as long as I've been alive. You know what I'm saying? Maybe some historical legend back in the day was able to hold them all 3 down and become undisputed. But in these days, if we have multiple belts, and multiple challenges and multiple kings and, and dynasties, we have more of a challenge because people are fighting their ass off to keep these belts. And Terence Crawford has done it at 140, has done it at 147, and he's trying his best to do it at 168, and that's really closer to his walking around weight. So basically, this tells us a lot about both fighters. Canelo Alverez, all he really has to do is show that he's Canelo, to show that he's still Canelo, because Canelo Alverez has been, he's been declining. But to be fair, Crawford didn't look great against Madrimov. He looked good, but not great. Okay, he didn't chop down Madrimov and stop Madrimov like we're accustomed to seeing him do. But so both of these guys are in a situation where possibly they're not where they used to be, but they're still good enough to fight to show who they still are. But you guys tell me what you think of Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford. A done deal? Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.